I'm Amanda Dixon. When we talk about issues of importance in this country, it seems like we discuss them in this way. We talk about what is liberal and what is conservative. We discuss what is red and what is blue, what is Republican and Democratic. We aspire perhaps to bipartisanship, but it seems like that remains an aspiration and we never even get there. There might be a better way of discussing this issue. In fact, I believe there is, now that I've met the two gentlemen I'm about to introduce to you. They are the authors of the new book, Voice of the People, The Transpartisan Imperative in American Life. Please welcome Lawrence Chickering and James Turner. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
So what is transpartisanship?
I like to describe it as the integration of left and right. It's the way that we act as human beings. We don't sit around and debate, should we walk on our right foot or our left foot? We actually think, how do we get them to work together?
Yeah.
And when the right foot and the left foot work together, you actually get progress and you move toward a goal. And
Well, I would describe it in a similar way. And a key part of it is that there are four positions, not two, in our political system, two conservative and two liberal, and they're divided by freedom and order. And the freedom people on the conservative side are the free market people. The order people are the moral majority types. And on the left, there's a freedom and an order position. All four of these have important components of the truth. And in transpartisan solutions, all four need to be represented in the solution. And people need to reach out to each other and engage each other to produce the solution. Part of it is that our current debate is all about what separates us. There's no space for people to come together and do what they agree about. There is no opportunities for people to come together and do about. Think about educating girls internationally. No issue would bring greater change to the world than educating girls and empowering women. This view is so widely held that one conservative activist in Washington, when he heard what I do, dismissed it and said, well, nobody could be against that. And what his meaning was quite clear, that if you can't be against it, there's no reason to be for it. This is what the whole Washington culture represents, the political culture in general. The media are in the entertainment business. Let's stop pretending that the people we're watching on these news shows are really news analysts. Let's just embrace them as entertainers, and that is really what they are, whether they're on the right or on the left, and stop pretending that they're saying anything very interesting or important that's going to lead anybody to a solution to any problem.
Yeah.
They are not going to. And the reason that they're not is because they're pretending that left and right, conservative and liberal mean anything. They don't mean anything.
well, you don't need to do it. It's being done away with already.
Right.
Here's an example. Obama got the largest percentage of the population vote this time around. 22.6% of the American population voted for Obama. That's very small. 17% voted for McCain. About a third of those were independents. So basically you have about 27% of the population is in the Republican Democratic framework. I'm saying the labels are already disappearing. More people are registered as independents than either as Republicans or Democrats. And more people don't register at all than both Democrats and Republicans combined. The argument we make is that they are transpartisan. What we mean by that is that partisan is falling away as a useful organizing dynamic. And people are adopting a new dynamic. And that new dynamic is independent, non-participating in the partisan fight. They want to live lives that are that have a politics that is more congruent with their own personal being, and they're moving away from the process. I mean, if we use the partisan system that we use in politics to say take a plane ride across the country, we'd have fighting on all the planes. What we're trying to say is, wake up, folks. You can't get 27% of the population together in a room and have them agree bipartisanly what they're going to do for 100% of the population. And the rest of the population is telling them that. They're saying, we're going to go do it ourselves.
What we propose, and in our new project we propose in the book, is creation of a new program of small strategic aid program, which could be used to experiment in these things, to try experiments, to do these things in different places, and to create a new constituency of people to demonstrate what's possible, and not to try and do it through the existing institutions. It just simply isn't going to happen. I think temperamentally and in his spirit he is, but he's walked into a system that is a bipartisan in its best form is really bipartisan. I think he does not. He's really limited in his ability to see active opportunities for transpartisan action. I'll give you an example. There's a lot in the news this week about his foreign policy team, and the analysis of the need to reach out to weak states and to do nation building and all of this, and to really integrate development and military and economic and all of that into one is really a very, very very good analysis, I think.
There are roles that are assigned to people, and Barack Obama is playing the starring role in a mythological presentation. He's the president, he's the father, he's the answer. And the big question we raise and that we want to focus on is whether that role can be broadened enough, broken out of enough, so that somebody who seems to have the kinds of impulses and skills and orientation that he has can actually bring those to bear.
Right.
I think one of the most powerful things that Obama has said more than once is in talking about his vision. He says, it's not about me, it's about you. Now that may sound like words, but I really believe that he means it. I think most other politicians and the system in general is all about them. It's all about representing. We vote them in and then they do things, and we like what they do or we don't like what they do, but it's really about them. One of the problems in the foreign policy area especially, it's such a huge problem, it's hard to believe in a way that it is, that the system is so tightly constrained that there is no space for the government or for people working with the government to experiment with new ways of doing things. And then when they find new ways of doing things, to communicate away from where the new ideas were created. And in a public school in San Francisco, in the most dangerous neighborhood in San Francisco. It's a completely multiracial and multi-ethnic school. He was chosen last year as the outstanding principal of a middle school in the entire country. And so he's a man from the inside. He's head of his union, and he's in a very unionized school. This man has created a miracle in 9 years in this school. His teachers love him. He's shown improvements on every measurable scale. He's created, really, in effect, he's created a charter school inside the public school system. Not legally, because he's still a member of but he empowered the people in his school to create an environment and a community that works together, where everybody works together, where teachers are empowered to do what they know how to do, what they were trained to do. And this is really the model, I think, that needs to happen in public schools across the country.
And the notion of juxtaposing government authority to community action is exactly at the heart of what we're talking about. The real power of this country comes from community action. But the people who are in politics believe that the real power comes from government authority.
But there is surely the word community action is complicated because it goes back to the creation of the Office of Economic Opportunity in 1966. And in the early forms of community action, most of it was about radical action, demanding things from the government. That's something very different from what we're talking about. We're talking about positive opportunities for people to engage, things that the government should be supporting. They should be supporting it in local communities and in schools and in every domain, in health, in all kinds of activities.
Well, if people begin to recognize that they're part of a large movement, not only a large movement, but I believe statistically we're talking 70% of the population is not involved in the partisan world.
To get your very own copy of Voice of the People, the Transpartisan Imperative in American Life, you can go to Amazon.com or to transpartisanvoice.com.